Gaming Bolt presents the 15 dumbest weapons that were actually useful. We have a lot to cover here, so let us dive right in. Red Faction Armageddon, Mr. Toot. A post-apocalyptic Mars isn't exactly a happy setting, which is what makes the inclusion of Mr. Toot so strange in Red Faction Armageddon. This small cartoon unicorn fires rainbow beams out of its backside every time it farts, which is often. This weaponized flatulence lights up an otherwise dreary world and decimates enemies at the same time. Dead Space 2 Hand Cannon. Conquering Dead Space 2 on the hardest difficulty rewards players with the hand cannon. This giant red foam finger seems like a joke weapon at first, until you fire it. It literally tears necromorphs apart. Even bosses aren't safe from its wrath. Bayonetta Hair. The Umbra Witches used a very distinct form of magic. They manipulated their own hair to form fists, feet, and even demonic creatures. Bayonetta's weapon may seem a little unorthodox, but don't discount it just yet. Its versatility and style make it not only great to watch, but also a thrill to use. Postal 3 Badger Saw. The Postal series has always been diabolically clever with its weapons, but the Badger Saw in Postal 3 reached a new level of twisted. Attaching metal bars to the back of a rabid badger turned the angry animal into a very creative but still incredibly deadly weapon. Slicing people to bits was not only ridiculous but also effective. The Elder Scrolls Wabberjack. Magic can be a very powerful tool in Skyrim, but the Wabberjack is something different entirely. Point this stuff at anyone, friend or foe, and watch as they transform into a small, meek animal. A dragon doesn't seem as tough when it suddenly transforms into a chicken in a puff of smoke. Ratchet & Clank, the Groovinator. The Groovinator from Ratchet & Clank fires a spinning disco ball into the air, which stops all enemies in their tracks as they get down and boogie. Once they're distracted, you can whip out one of Ratchet's more violent tools and quickly take care of them, or just sit back and watch the show. Armed and Dangerous Landshark Gun. Some guns are so dumb that they can't help but be amazing. The Landshark Gun from Armed and Dangerous is one such weapon. You lock onto an enemy and then fire a hungry landshark at them. You watch its dorsal fin approach and then disappear right before it reaches the target. The shark then erupts from the ground, seizing your enemy in its jaws. Borderlands 2 The Morning Star. Borderlands 2 is famous for having over 10 bazillion guns hidden across Pandora. The Morning Star is one of the game's best snipers, but it comes with a drawback. It isn't exactly quiet. The Morning Star has a voice, and it isn't afraid to use it. It's constantly insulting the player, showering you with insults and slurs. The Typing of the Dead Keyboard. Typing of the Dead armed its zombie slayers with typewriters that hit their decaying pursuers with a shower of consonants and vowels. The weapon itself never ceases to be dumb, but rapidly typing out words to kill your foes is definitely something you don't do in every game. Red Dead Nightmare Blunderbuss. Ammo isn't just lying around in the Old West, especially when every citizen of every tiny town has turned into a zombie. But John Marston is a resourceful man, so he picked up some zombie bits and shoved them into a blunderbuss. This ridiculous weapon seemed like a joke at first, but it made a real dent on the encroaching undead army. Dead Rising 2 The Paddle Saw. Zombies seem to be getting tougher to take down, but Dead Rising 2's paddle saw makes quick work of the undead hordes. Strapping chainsaws to the ends of a paddle may seem a bit unorthodox, but its killing power cannot be disputed. Half-Life 2 Gravity Gun. The seminal shooter messed with the laws of physics in unique and groundbreaking ways, but none were as revolutionary as the gravity gun. What starts out as a good way to move crates and pick up ammo quickly turns into a way to launch saw blades at enemies. Mario Kart The Blue Shell. Seeing a blue shell swirl above you before crashing down is an iconic moment in gaming, and for good reason. The blue shell may be a real hassle to deal with, but when you smash into an item block and happen to pick one up, you immediately know that you hold pure, unadulterated power in your hands. Fallout 4 Junk Jet. Do you just use bullets in your guns? Well, then you're not thinking big enough. Fallout 4's Junk Jet lets you load anything into its barrel and fire straight at your enemy. You'll be surprised at how effective a teddy bear is at removing a raider's head from their shoulders. Duke Nukem Shrink Ray. Duke Nukem isn't the gentlest of heroes. He prefers brute force to stealth, usually just charging into battle, guns blazing. The Shrink Ray isn't any less deadly, but it always allows for some hilarious moments. Shrinking a towering enemy and then squishing them under your boot never fails to satisfy, and makes even the most imposing foes manageable.
And if you like what we're doing, go ahead and click that subscribe button. See you soon.